Good morning. This is the Blaine's World webcast that can be found each week on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. You can also listen in on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and get more information and find out about past shows and future shows at our website, which is behind me, blainesworld.net. I'm your host, Blaine Greenfield, and I'm here in my Zoom studio in lovely downtown Fairview, North Carolina. And you have to choose the appearance. I'm a bit beat up here, but I fell the other day, but I'm doing almost as well as I ever did. And each week, we focus on positive news and information that people and organizations in both Western North Carolina and throughout the country. And toward that end, it's my pleasure to introduce one of the most positive folks I know, and she is Jill Sparks, Executive Director of the Small Business Center and Business Incubator Program at ABTech in Candler, North Carolina. Welcome aboard, Jill. You can wave to all your fans and friends who are watching this.
Well, thank you, Dwayne. Dwayne Blaine. I mean, that's
Close
who.
enough.
It's a crazy train we're all on, right? So thank you, Blaine. We love you and glad to be here tonight.
Okay. I should mention that Jill is the Executive Director of the Small Business Center and the Business Incubator Program at ABTech in Candler. She also serves as the Regional Director for the Western region of the North Carolina Small Business Center Network. Prior to joining ABTech, she worked at her alma mater, Appalachian State University, as Director for Career Planning Services, and later as Director of Development for the Walker College of Business. She serves on boards for ASU, WCU, and the Center for Agriculture and Food Entrepreneurship. And she earned her BSA in Marketing, BA in History, MBA from Appalachian State University. And she's worked in transportation, financial services industry prior to a career in higher education. So, Jill, the question I always ask is, in terms of, as a child, you grew up where?
Outside of Atlanta in Gwinnett County.
And as a young woman growing up outside of Atlanta, did you always know you wanted to be working with entrepreneurs?
No, and it's really funny that you asked this because when I was in high school, all I wanted to do was be the guidance counselor that helped people pick the college where they wanted to go. And so then when I worked at App State, I was director of career planning. So I helped students figure out their major. And now in this role at ABTech at the Small Business Center, since I've been here since 2006, I get to help people figure out what they want to do in respect to whether they want to start a business, what's their dream, how do they grow their business. So maybe not helping entrepreneurs specifically, but being a helper person. Like I get to offer enthusiastic encouragement to folks.
Well, it's kind of cool because it's sort of all related,
Yep.
you're doing the same thing in different fields. So how do you wind up then at ABTech? How do you find your way over to there?
Well, I had been working for App State, my alma mater, in Boone for several years. And unlike a lot of people that moved to Asheville for a smaller city, we wanted to move to a bigger city. So left Boone in 2006. And I thought at the time I'd still keep my job at ASU and just, work remotely way before the pandemic. But then I got pregnant and realized I couldn't really keep a baby in daycare and be working 2 hours away. And so a position opened at the Small Business Center in 2006, and an ASU graduate, Rush Yelton, hired me to work at the Small Business Center. And it has been delightful and super fun. I get to learn a little about a lot of stuff.
And I can't believe you're saying 2006. I came here, I guess, in 2009 to this area.
Yes.
And I can't believe it's already a bunch of years. Who would have thunk?
You bet. And I've been, we have a great team. Two of them, Dwayne Adams, shout out to Dwayne Adams, our associate director, Daphne Carson, who is our Small Business Center specialist. They are amazing. We just love being able to help folks. And then our latest member to join the team is Teresa Stone. She's our facilities coordinator. She's been with us about 9 months.
So it's funny you mentioned that because you don't realize how important a team is, in terms of, I work with lots of different people, lots of different organizations, but just when I work with the two people you mentioned, and we'll give a shout out, there's one of the persons, Steve
Poland. Yes, he's been with us for a while.
And so I don't know if it's under your leadership or whatnot, but just everybody seems to have just a helping attitude, and that people go there and they just always have a smile on their face, which is really kind of incredible. So I don't know how you do it, but they are great, the staff. And so talk about the process then. So if somebody's listening or watching and they're interested in, we'll talk about two things at your place. It's small business assistance and help. And then we'll also talk about the incubator program. But talk about the first thing. So ABTech is known for their help they provide to small businesses. What exactly is the help you do provide?
And that's a great question. And I'm going to back up just for a second
Please.
to lay a framework for those watching and listening. And so in 1984, the North Carolina General Assembly decided to have a small business center at each of our community colleges. There are 58 community colleges in North Carolina. And so every small business center is to offer free confidential counseling to anybody and everyone, as well as free training. Okay. And so at every one of our community college in North Carolina, we have a very extensive network. We have a small business center. So anyone can come to us at ABTech. You can look us up online at abtech.edu/SBC, abtech.edu/SBC, and you can fill out a form to request counseling. And so about 50% of the folks that come see us don't have a business yet. A lot of people are very surprised about that. And so since I've been there since 2006, it may be 51, 49, 52, 48, but roughly 50% of the folks that walk through our door don't have a business yet. They maybe have moved to Asheville or to Western North Carolina and can't find a job. Maybe they've quit their job. Maybe they've retired. They've gotten out of jail. They've gotten out of recovery. They have been let go, a wide variety of reasons. And so the Small Business Center can provide a safe place for them to just explore. Hey, I'm kind of thinking about this. Or what we usually see is, hey, I'm doing this as a side gig. I want to get legit. I want to quit my day job. I want to grow this business, and we can help them. People don't have to be a student. Anybody can come to the Small Business Center at no cost, and they can come as many times as they like.
And I should mention, kind of as a compliment to the center, that sometimes, surprisingly, I know that 51-49 percentage figure is interesting to me, but it's also interesting to me is the fact that sometimes you help people by showing them that maybe they shouldn't be starting a business, that, I've had some of my clients through you folks, and sometimes people are dreamers, which is okay, but they have no business starting a business. And so I think you help a lot of people also come to that realization that maybe they shouldn't be starting the business.
Well, and really in my previous job at ASU as director of career planning, a lot of times when people come into our office, we can even tell by their nonverbal language. And oftentimes I've seen where folks come in and maybe they hate their current situation. They just don't like their job. So they perhaps have over romanticized entrepreneurship. And so if they're don't seem really excited about something, but they say they want to start a business, we just continue to ask questions. It's not our role at all to say that doesn't make sense. That's a dumb idea. We just say, hey, we're going to just ask you some questions. And usually we're reflecting back what we're seeing. And so oftentimes I'll say, well, hey, if I could sprinkle fairy dust on you, what would you do? And it is amazing, Blaine, like how animated people get about something. And I'll say, okay, this gives us something to work with. Okay. And what is amazing about our community college and ABTech is there's so many avenues that anyone can enter the community college, whether one is going to pursue an associate's degree or a certificate or some type of short-term training. So we have so many resources that we can direct people to, even outside of the Small Business Center, but still within the community college system.
As you're talking, I'm reminded of kind of a tip-off to me when I work with a client. And the tip-off is if they don't have a pencil or pen or paper, they're not taking down any notes, I oftentimes think they're not really interested. That I'm here to share, you're here to share, everybody. And when they don't take any notes down, it says to me a lot that they're not really serious about getting help, and that just kind of throws me sometimes that people come there. But talk about the process then. So if somebody is interested in getting help, first thing they come make an appointment, I guess, with Dwayne or Steve or one of or you? How do they
Right,
do
they
that?
can make an appointment, they can call, and then we'll send them a link. They will register, complete a request for counseling, and then Daphne Carson, our specialist, will generally reach out to that client to schedule a time with someone on our team, whether that's myself, it's Dwayne Adams, or Steve Poland, or even Daphne. Daphne's starting to do some counseling. And so then we first assess kind of where that person is. Do they have a business and they have a challenge? Are they wanting to grow? Do they have they sold anything yet? Where are they in their process? And they can be anywhere. Okay, they can be anywhere. And then we typically give them some homework. Okay, so for example, if someone is making an arts and crafts or a food product, okay, we will often suggest, well, hey, why don't you go to the farmer's market? That's sort of a low risk activity where if they can have a booth at the farmer's market, and we do have the Inca Candler tailgate market out in our parking lot at ABTech Inca, May to October, so that's great. Have a booth, gather some feedback. Are people, how are people reacting to the product on the table? Are they asking questions? Are they buying? Get information from them. That's a quick, easy way to start gathering data about whether someone has a product or service that people are willing and able to buy.
And by the way, what you said is a real tip off also to me, and I think to you as well. If you make the suggestion and they don't follow through, that says a lot. Here's what you like to do. And some people do and some people don't, but that's okay too. So after I love that idea, they try a little mini version of what they're doing. Then do they get to meet with a counselor, or how does that process work?
Right. They can meet with us first. We'll see where they are. We usually give homework, go try this, go get this information. Maybe someone hasn't started at all. Well, see who else is doing that. What would it cost to rent that space to have a coffee shop downtown? Go do some research and then come back. And we know it can be overwhelming, and people do it all the time. There's lots of things in life that are overwhelming, and we as humans can do it one step at a time. And so when someone does complete some of that homework we discuss, we get very excited, and come back in usually 4 to 6 weeks. And also we offer a lot of programming that is free. Okay. On any given day, maybe except Sunday, there are probably 20 or so seminars, some are webinars, taking place. I'd say maybe 40 seminars taking place across the state through that North Carolina Small Business Center network. And anyone can go to any of those. So Blaine, if you came into our office at ABTech Inca and wanted to start a goat yoga business, and we didn't have a seminar on goat yoga, but Wake Tech and Raleigh did, I would say, hey, go take that webinar. It's free to learn something. And so you can go to our website at abtech.edu/SBC and go to seminars, and you can look at the whole array of seminars. And these are short. It could be 2 hours on Instagram, or right now everyone's wanting to get information about taxes. It could be a seminar on, I'm getting ready to hire my first employee. What legal structure should I have? Do I have what it takes to be an entrepreneur? And with SCORE and you, Blaine, you certainly have conducted several workshops for us, and you're a volunteer for us too. So that's also available at the Small Business Center. We would encourage our clients to take some programming, which is free.
Talk about that, because that's kind of exciting also for people to take advantage of. So they can come in and meet with one of you folks. Then, which is very nice, you have a whole network. I do it sometimes, but you have a whole network of actual counselors who then meet with people on a one-to-one basis.
Yes.
How many counselors do you have approximately?
Right now, we have 10 volunteers who share their expertise and knowledge and time with our clients. And for example, we're generalists. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a CPA, nor is Dwayne, nor Steve, nor Daphne. So we can talk in general terms. And when we feel like a client needs to meet with someone with marketing expertise or to meet with a CPA. Once they meet with a member of our SBC team, they can then meet with a volunteer up to 2 times at no cost, which
Okay.
is huge.
Which is a big time. And then those meetings, do they have to be in person, or sometimes they're Zoom or email or
They can be
phone?
both, whatever is convenient for the client.
Okay. And so what then happens? So after they go through the 2 meetings, what then happens to the client, to the process?
Well, after they've gone through those 2 meetings, and if they want to continue meeting with that CPA, then that's between them. Okay. However, they can still continue to meet with Dwayne or Steve Poland or Daphne or myself indefinitely. Okay. And for example, let's say someone comes to us, they are starting a business, they're doing all their homework. A year has passed, they've been at the farmer's market, they're getting sales, they're about to hire someone. Then that's when incubation may come into the picture. And just like babies and chickens, incubation is when a nurturing environment is provided to something. And so for us, business incubation is we're providing a physical space for someone starting a business or someone that has an existing business and they want to grow. They go through an application process. They can stay for up to 4 years. And a great example of this is Asheville Tea Company. Many folks in Western North Carolina are familiar with this very, very delicious, locally sourced high-end tea. And Jessie Dean, their founder, she came to the Small Business Center before, wanting to start a business. And then she started. She continued learning all the time, because that's a big factor, always being willing to learn and learn something from an experience. And she started producing her tea. She started hiring people. She needed physical space. She applied to the business incubation program. She came in, she grew her business and grew. She stayed for 4 years, and then she recently graduated.
So talk about that also, which must be very exciting for you, that you have people. So how many spots are there for people
That
in this?
varies. We've got different space. And again, ABTech is the only one, only community college in that 58 community college system that has a physical space and incubation program like we do. Okay. So we're really kind of the only one out of 58. And so, space wise, the most we've ever had is 23 businesses. Right now we have 17. And so Asheville Tea is great. I also like to mention Asheville Ice, which is nice. Okay, the owner did not want a bumper sticker like that, but I liked it. Asheville Ice is nice.
I
But
love it.
Mark Sandara, I'm not sure if you met him, but he was an ABTech student. I mean, this is a great example. He came to ABTech to earn an associate's degree in refrigeration technologies, because that's what we do at the community college system. And he decided he wanted to start a business repairing ice machines. Well, ice machines are in bars, breweries, restaurants, hotels, what we're known for. It's one of our, industry clusters here in Asheville. And so he started growing his business. So then he needed to incubate. He needed a space to have his office, to have his administrative assistant, but also he needed warehouse space, which we had, to repair the ice machines. And so he would employ his coworkers. He would get his instructors from ABTech to help him. He just graduated after being in our incubation program for 4 years.
And think about it, that there's no way conceivably he could have done that without having that, I guess, step up or a chance to have a facility at I won't mention the specifics, but it's a very reasonable. I mean, you
Yes,
can't get
very
anything like that.
reasonable
Yeah.
rent. It's a very old building too.
Right. Yeah, but no, it is, but it feels great, and it accomplishes its purpose. So you have the counseling, you have the incubation, you mentioned the courses, both online, and then I know SCORE does a bunch of courses for
Yes.
folks, and they're just great. I mean, no charge, and they can just learn, a wide variety of topics, and the more you can learn, the better. Talk about courses then. I know you have an upcoming course. Let's see, today is the 15th, or it'll be on the 16th to show. You have a course starting on the 29th. right? And what's that?
Yes, we do. And one thing I want to say, I'd be remiss if I did not mention the awesome Blue Ridge Food Ventures. It is a commercial kitchen at ABTech, Inca, and that is a nonprofit that they rent space and pay for space from ABTech. And a lot of locally made food products are made at Blue Ridge Food Ventures. It's a commercial kitchen. It's open 24 hours a day. Smiling Hara Tempeh, Firewalker hot sauce, Lusty Monk mustard. A lot of folks are operating out of that commercial kitchen. And oftentimes, those clients that are in food manufacturing, they will be small business center clients, and some will even incubate. So Lusty Monk mustard, which many of us have had, which
Right.
is divine. Kelly is in our incubation program, and her mustard is made at the commercial kitchen. And we also have the Craft Beverage Institute of the Southeast. ABTech was the first 2-year technical school in the country to offer an associate's degree in brewing, distillation, fermentation. Several 4-year universities had that, but not the 2-year schools. So we have that at ABTech Inca.
It must be exciting for you to then have the people, I won't say kick them out, but they graduate and then go on to then have success outside of ABTech.
Yes, yes.
It's just,
It makes holiday shopping fun when you can buy all your gifts from your clients.
well, I know too. I don't think you've had it for a while, but it was always a fun event. You had around the holidays, you had an event where you had all the merchants, all the incubator folks. Do you still do that? It was just such a fun event.
Right. We used to do that when a facility across the street from our building was
Right.
open. And we unfortunately don't have space for that. It was Jumpstart. And then we used to have a holiday market in Blue Ridge Food Ventures.
Yeah.
However, people got to be making their food product. You know, if that event's being held, they can't produce. So we're looking at a few different things in the future. So you will be the first to know, and maybe our whole team will come on next time.
It was just such a fun event, though, when you had everybody come on too. So I cut you off, though. You're talking about the upcoming course that's starting in late January.
Right. And what this is, it is called the Ice House Entrepreneurial Program, and it is for business owners. This is a program that teaches the entrepreneurial mindset, but it's a 2-part program because ABTech is part of a pilot program. A grant was received from Land of Sky Regional Council and NCIDEA. So grant money came to ABTech, and what Land of Sky and the Department of Commerce at the state level realized was there's not a lot of training for North Carolina businesses that have 25 or less employees. We often hear about training for a Pratt Whitney or for a big company, but not, oh, here's training available for those very small businesses that are generating jobs that are 25 or less. And so some grant funding was received. It came to ABTech, and it is allowing us to offer who owns the Ice House Entrepreneurial Program, which I'll go into detail in just a moment, to business owners, but then to also offer that program to the employees of that business. And at free. All materials, all instruction. And we're going to be offering that in Spanish also in March. So maybe we can get back on the program, in February or so.
And you'll speak in Spanish?
It will be completely in Spanish. I am not fluent, so I will not be facilitating that. Okay. Beverly Jarinko will. She is the facilitator for the program. So again, this is a 2-part program. Entrepreneurial training for the business owner will take place starting January 29th, and you can go to our website to register for that.
And the website again is?
Yes, thank you. abtech.edu/SBC, which is for Small Business Center. Okay. Also, I'd love for you to follow us on Instagram, and that's ABTech Small Business Center.
And so go back to the course. So folks sign up for it. Is it once a week? Is it how much time do they put into it?
What this is going to be, it's a 3-week program, and folks meet Monday, Wednesday, Monday, Wednesday, Monday, Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 12. And we realize that's a lot of, that's being out of the office, but it is very valuable. And really, just because someone owns a small business does not mean that they necessarily have an entrepreneurial mindset. And a lot of people think entrepreneurship and small business ownership are the same thing. And it really isn't. The entrepreneurial mindset is really almost like a worldview, a way of looking at the world, critically thinking. And someone can be very entrepreneurial and not even own a business. It's just how do you see opportunities that others overlook? Usually obvious things. There's, very successful people may not have all invented a brand new thing. They've found solutions to an existing problem.
And
So that's what that is. And oftentimes business owners will say as they start to grow, oh, I need a mini me. I need 5 other people who are entrepreneurial minded. Well, here's your opportunity to send someone that you, the business owners, see as someone who can take a leadership role in your small business, because we all know in a small business, the founder is doing everything. And then the first 2, 3, 4 employees are all still doing everything.
It's a nice thing about this course, though, 2 things, I guess. One, as mentioned, there's no charge to them if they come to it. But also, I imagine, too, Jill, and one of the things you do at the center, which I think is also great, is it's also a chance for people to network with other people, because one of the problems I see oftentimes with the small business is you become very isolated. You're doing your thing and you never speak to anybody else. You never have contact with anybody else. So here's a chance to meet 14 other people who are in a similar place that you are. Is this for people, though, who have existing businesses?
Absolutely, yes. And if they have employees, even better, because they may know 1 or 2 of their employees. Oh, wow, I need to send that employee to that entrepreneurial training free to help them, because it's something I can offer an employee that they can take anywhere. And we all know that folks are having a tough time finding and retaining employees. So this is a free benefit to that employee. And also, that employee will be exposed to ideas and engaged in experiential learning, developing an entrepreneurial mindset that hopefully when they come back to work, they can view things a little differently to help with that business growing. It's expanding the mental, intellectual, problem-solving capability of that small business without adding another person. I guess if that makes sense.
It does. The center has been in business for 40 years. You've been there not quite 40 years. Do you see people come back, like they'll be in one business, then do they ever come back to have another business, or do you see people staying in touch with you all?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. Yes, we often, that's what I think makes it so fun, is we do develop long-standing relationships with people. And entrepreneurship, the good, bad, and the ugly, it is not an easy journey. Okay. And so we will see folks who, hey, we started this. Oh my gosh, remember, we've done so well. It continues to grow. We've started, it's done great. We're selling. We started, we had a problem. Oh my gosh, we have to close it. So we see everything. And we see folks who, they may come visit us about once a year and they have ideas and they don't move. And that can be really frustrating because we hear a lot of great ideas and we can't do it for you. We'll get all excited like, oh, that's so awesome. That's great. We schedule an appointment 6 weeks later. They haven't done anything. They keep not doing anything. And we get frustrated. And, you got to do your homework if you're going to continue to work with us.
But the thing people should get out of this, that if you have an idea, that every time you have a new idea, feel free to come back to the center. Or like you said, that it's not necessarily a failure if one business doesn't work. It's just the next step along the pendulum or something, that you can always be learning or growing or having your business grow.
And if you can learn, that's the biggest thing. Every failure is, I mean, you can turn that around if you learn and operate differently, respond or react differently the next time. And also another thing, regardless of industry, there are some key concepts, as you probably know, that are kind of the same regardless. You know, you got to know how to keep track of money, regardless of what business. You got to know how to, you know, how do you let people know that you were in business, and who is your target market? Who is that person that's going to buy? You have to know what insurance, like what liability risks. So regardless of what business someone wants to pursue, those are fundamental concepts that are necessary. And if someone comes to us and they may not have plans to start a business for 2 years, hey, that's great, because once a month, take a free seminar on the discovery canvas, or customer discovery, how to write a business plan, understanding loans, all of that, because it's tough to try and get all that information in when you were starting the business right then. You know, but it's never too early, it's never too late to come see us. How about that?
One I use oftentimes is that I have to share with businesses the idea that they have to, you know, talk about business, they have to market themselves, because some people don't, you know, recognize that. So the line I use, Jill, trying to think who said it, Ken Blanchard, is that if you don't toot your own horn, somebody else will use it as a spittoon, you know? And what amazes me, sometimes I'll be doing a seminar and people don't even talk about their business, or they don't advertise their business or promote their business. Or a classic example, I once had somebody was starting a chocolate business, a SBC client, and said, great, but they didn't bring in chocolates. You know, they could have samples. And I tell people, anytime you go out, you should be talking about your business, you know, but so many people don't, you know, it's just incredible. And they feel it's, I guess, not part of the job. But if you don't talk about your own business, nobody else is going to, you know.
Well, that's right. You've got to believe in it. And an easy way to, you know, something to do with that, wear a t-shirt that has your logo on it. I'm
Jill,
just, you know,
you say, or go out with them afterwards to their car and they don't have the sticker on their car, you know, people should know about it. Or here's an easy one too. I did it just the other day with a seminar that people have their business, and trying to think what business was, but they should put it on their voice mail. That it was a voiceover person I was working with, and good friend of mine, but he doesn't promote his business, you know, and so his message on his cell phone should be, hi, you've reached the voiceover business, you know, and should, in a form of a voiceover, what a great way to have a commercial for your business, but he doesn't do it, you know. And another, Jill, you got a kick out of this years ago, was in singing telegrams, and she didn't have it on her voicemail. You know, you didn't know. I said, you should sing your message on your voicemail, you know, just simple stuff. Or like you said, come to a seminar and wear your t-shirt, come to a seminar, have samples of your product, because you'll never know who else you'll meet.
Yeah. Right. Well, and I couldn't help, when you said singing telegram, my mind immediately went to Elf. I'm sorry. You know, I just did.
With what?
But, well, and also I think so many folks, if they can be fearful of numbers,
right?
And then sales, marketing. And I used to be a banker. I forgot to mention that way back
remember
then.
That. You're right.
And I remember one thing that was drilled into our head, which really is true. Sales is the ultimate form of service. So if you believe in your product and that it can help a client save money or make money or fulfill a need, you are doing them a favor by letting them know about your product. So if you can kind of rewire that in your brain, sales is the ultimate form of service.
But it's spot on, because so many times I'll do a seminar and that's the first thing people oftentimes say. They don't like to sell, you know.
Yeah.
They're not salespeople. But I see it similar, Jill. I see if you're selling something, you're helping people buy, you're helping people get something they want or need, but you're going to help them with it, you know. So you're not ramming stuff down their throat, you're just helping them. But a lot of people kind of have a negative image of that, you know.
Well, and that gets into understanding and knowing who your target market is. And you may not know that starting out, but if you can dial in, for example, say I'm selling earrings at the farmer's market, and I notice every Saturday when I'm at the farmer's market, oh, wow, all my customers kind of have this one single thing in common. What's a common denominator? Well, then that is a building block of, oh, I have an idea about what my target market might be, or these people buying my earrings have this one thing in common. They're all Appalachian State graduates. Who knows, you know?
But you know, but to you it's simple. To me it's simple. But I guess that's one of the things we try to share with people. So I had another client, not more than one of this kind of thing, was a landscaper. Great, did nice work, but his truck didn't even have his name of his company on the work. And I said, what you do where you're working, you have a sandwich board so that people drive by, the work is being done by the company. But if you don't tell them, they're not going to be able to guess that, so it's just kind of basic stuff. But again, I guess that's the role of the center. It's just help ask those kinds of questions.
Well, right. And we're a safe place. I mean,
Yeah.
that's something it's confidential, it's one-on-one, and we can talk about things like that. And we can not best, but we can provide guidance on, hey, why don't you take this seminar taking place at Haywood Community College? It's online, or at this. And what's really cool, another Instagram account you might want to follow is NCSBC in North Carolina Small Business Center Network, because I get to manage that for the entire state. And it's really cool because I now have a better understanding of what's really going on around the state. And so in a few weeks, they're having a beauty academy at Alamance, which is near Burlington, for folks who own a beauty shop or a barber shop or want to have a booth or something like that. And it's cool stuff, and this is all free. And many are webinars. Now that one's on a Saturday, but it is definitely worth traveling down there. Just check it out.
You mentioned, and I know I've done a couple of webinars as well for you. Talk about exactly, for folks who don't know what they are or never been to a webinar, what is it?
Well, okay, so the webinar is going to be like Zoom almost. So it is online. You will get a link. Usually it's sent to you by Dwayne Adams, our amazing associate director. And then at the time of the webinar, you will just log in and there will be an instructor talking about a particular topic. So that is offered. We have found that webinars are more convenient to many of our clients because of the 50% that do have a business, they're working in their business during the day, usually, or at some point they don't have time to drive somewhere. And watching a 1-hour webinar at lunch, 12 to 1, is really good. In the evening, the other day, I actually was getting hung up on something on Instagram. I didn't know how to do something. So I took a Small Business Center Network seminar from Haywood Community College, webinar at night, and I got what I needed. So I'm taking seminars.
All the time. So to recap, let's just talk a little bit about the center. So I've heard 2 services you offer, primarily the consulting and helping people starting or growing a business, plus the incubator parts of it. And again, to get information on that, best bet, go to the website is
abtech.edu/SBC.
Okay. And what I also heard you saying that even if people haven't started the business, they don't have, just in the thinking process of it, they should come in and see you.
Absolutely. And we can provide information on where to get connected. 1 Million Cups, which happens every Wednesday at 9 a.m. in downtown Asheville, is a great way to get connected with other entrepreneurs. So that's another resource, is our team can connect our clients with the appropriate people. Oh, you're interested in fill in the blank. Well, did you know fill in the blank's having a meeting next week? So the Outdoor Business Alliance, on Wednesday this week, Wednesday, January 17th, we have a seminar that's in person at ABTech Inca on how to start an outdoor business. the outdoor economy is huge for our state. I think North Carolina is number 22 out of 50 states in the impact of the outdoor economy. So kayaking and hiking, but also clothing and tents and endurance bars to eat during a race or whatnot. All of that is outdoor, the outdoor economy. And the Outdoor Business Alliance is a great organization here in town, and they just had a social last week. So we can help give you a clue as to, hey, follow this group on Instagram or keep them bookmarked on your phone so that you know what's going on and you want to connect with folks and businesses in the industry that you want to enter.
I wish to mention two final things about connecting and networking, but you also are very tuned into various business women's groups that are affiliated with you or you work very closely with. What are those?
Well, we work closely with the Western Women's Business Center. And what that is, there are several, I would say, nonprofit banks, okay, in North Carolina. They're called Community Development Financial Institutions, all these acronyms. But they're nonprofit bank, basically. Western Women's Business Center, Mountain BizWorks, Self-Help Credit Union, Thread Capital, all of those organizations loan money to people starting a business. And they also provide training, and we partner with them all the time. So we do that. We also have an annual Western Women's Business Conference each year. Date is unknown at this time, so we like to work with them.
And one other thing we should encourage folks to do as well, if you want to find out about all this good stuff, you should, of course, go to the website, but you also have a mailing list. Is that correct, that people can get on?
We do. If you will email us, I'll just give you my email. How about that? It's Jill M, as in money, Sparks at abtech.edu. Jill M Sparks at abtech.edu. Put in the subject heading email list.
And it's funny you mention that because I always tell people that it's such a simple thing, but if you want to get your emails read, put a compelling thing in the subject line because otherwise it can get buried. Yeah.
That's right.
So
and follow us on Instagram too.
And you're on Facebook as well?
We are.
Okay. I'm just getting
not on X though. I'm not.
Okay, I'm not on X. I'm getting into Instagram, but it's where you have to be. Yeah. Used to be on Facebook, but people are now more into Instagram, or I guess it is an age thing, so I'll take that course you mentioned. That's interesting to know that one of the colleges offers a course in Instagram basics or whatnot. Good
oh
to know.
gosh, well, and I'm on a nonprofit where I have to do finance stuff, so I took a QuickBooks seminar. So I mean, it's all of these seminars are for the business owner, but people in your business can take these too. So Canva, how to make videos, marketing, anything that you could imagine related to your business. Not only are we having the How to Start an Outdoor Business seminar this week, we're also having cybersecurity for small businesses.
Wow. That's
because
probably...
a lot of people think, oh, it's just me. I don't need to worry. Do you accept credit cards?
Yeah.
Do you have someone's address? Do you ship them stuff? That's personal information.
And, I don't have to tell you anything you don't know, but it's getting worse, and just how often I get hacked is just incredible, so good stuff to know. Jill Sparks, thank you for being my guest on this issue of the Blaine's World webcast. Also, a final time, the website is
abtech.edu/SBC. That's abtech.edu/SBC. And Blaine, we are very grateful for your continual support and interest and enthusiasm for the Small Business Center. Dwayne and Daphne and I love you. So thank you.
And you guys rock. So thank you for being my guest. Thank you also to Captain Tassetti, my producer. And hopefully we'll see you sometime in the near future, Jill, if not before then. You be well.
Sounds great. Thank you.